Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Sasuke a back with another. Since this video I make originally I said I was gonna make it on Monday, but if you watched my video just this Monday, I decided to go with a completely different video. And today I'm bringing you what I said on Monday I'd bring you, mainly because I saw today as a better day to explain some of the effects on some of the cards on the ban list. Um, So without further ado, I'm going to be discussing some of these cards, and this video will have me jumping around from limited, semi-limited, and unlimited, and of course banned. So please do try to keep up with me if is possible, which I hope you are. And also, if you haven't already done so, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified of every video I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So starting off, we're gonna go off with a limited card. We have, of course, and yes, some of these cards I do have, and some of them are proxies. So first off, we have I'm I hope you can see that well. That is A Assault Core. Okay, so A Assault Core was limited, which I do believe came as a big blow to the ABC Buster players. So its effect is initially once per turn you can either target one light machine type monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. A monster equipped with this card is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, except its own. Also, if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy this card instead. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one other union monster from your graveyard to your hand. So it was essential when bringing out when adding certain cards back from your graveyard, certain union monsters, sorry, back from your graveyard, and also, of course, um, trying to trying to what's it called? And also trying to help out with all your plays. So the fact that it's now limited kind of sucks, but it does give way for the next card that I'm about to talk about, which is semi-limited, which happens to be limiter removal. Let's see if I can get better view. Ah, there we go. Okay, so let me just move my crikey over here. Sorry, yeah, sitting on my bed, and there's something about the floor that makes me feel a little bit better. Um, so yeah, well, to my one of my first subscribers, Ray Gonzalez. Thanks for watching this, and please do stick around to the end of the video. Um, but either way, as I was claiming, I did. You are gonna be it. The limited version, the reason why I think that A Assault 4 got limited was to make room for limiter removal, which just got semi-limited, which destroy card's effect, but they get that extra attack boost, helps out. Now moving on to one that unlimited was Ring of Destruction. Now Ring of Destruction is a double-edged sword based on the way you play the card. Now, during your opponent's turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls whose attack is less than or equal to their life points. Destroy that face-up monster, and if you do, take damage equal to its original attack, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. You can only activate one Ring of Destruction once per turn. Now, if you run this in the DDDs and you have Oracle King of the Ark on the field, you gain that damage instead of taking it, but your opponent will take it completely, so that helps out tremendously. Also, it's a good card to be side to side, mainly because you do damage to your opponent. Now, if you're not careful enough, you don't have anything to prevent yourself from taking that damage, or you're low on life and you take the damage first, well, obviously you're still going to take the damage first. So if you don't have anything to, if you have lower life than your opponent, and the damage that you would originally take by this card um, would end your duel with you being the loser and your opponent being the victor, you obviously want to have something that will allow you to negate the burn damage to yourself, but still enable your opponent to take the damage himself. So you always have to double check this stuff, which I do cite it in my DDDs. I am remaking my DDDs to a divine version. I'm seriously considering whether to go all three gods or just the raw, which is, or obelisk, whichever one. It's all based on how I see fit. Anyway, coming up next, and we also have another semi-limited card, which is Scapegoat. Now, as I mentioned in my other video, um, that was that I aired on Friday, I did mention that this I believed this card should have gotten limited, and of course, Heavy Metal Foe Electromite should have been semi-limited. I mean, that's a better way to do things. I mean, the fact that everyone was running Electromite at 3 showed that you were able to you overuse Electromite's abilities, but I have a feeling that I do have this hunch that they were using the cards wrong, as I saw in some other duels that I've watched. Shout out to Team Samurai. If this video, if you watch this, and if this video actually insults you, I'm still gonna leave my name down in the description underneath this video. Um, and if you want to leave a comment, I'm glad. I would actually want to talk to you guys because I have a hell load of questions to ask. Sorry for getting sidetracked though. Um, but yeah, Team Samurai, I did see something that I was questioning their strategies with Electromite, where one duel between them was kind of getting like Electromite using its effect 3 times when I do believe it should only be used twice, which I'm going to get to in a bit because I do have a proxy version of Electromite, which I'm hopefully getting, which I'm waiting to get um, a set of 3, mainly for one for each different deck that I'm running. But I'll get to that in a bit. Either way, so Scapegoat effect is you can special summon 4 sheep tokens, beast type, earth, level 1, attack 0, and defense 0 in defense position. These tokens cannot be attributed for a tribute summon. You cannot summon other monsters the turn you activated this card, but you can normal set. Now, this card is a quick effect card, so you activate it during your opponent's end phase, or his second main phase, and you can easily go off on. You can easily be special summoning and normal summoning during your turn, but if you don't time this card right, you potentially just screw yourself over. Yeah, so it, be careful on how you use that one. Coming on next, we have two. Well, we have terraforming that was semi-limited. Everyone was saying, nah, dude, terraforming's never gonna see a spot on the list, whether banned, semi-limited, limited. Um, though I'm here to tell you, a lot of my friends and I myself got it correct. Terraforming got semi-limited, which doesn't affect me because one of my decks, which is the only deck that I use terraforming in, only uses 2. Yeah, so it's not that much of a blow to me, but to anyone who plays 3 terraforming and their deck essentially revolves around the 3 terraforming, you have a complete. You guys have to find another way. I mean, you guys can do metaverse, I do believe, um, which allows you to activate during your opponent's turn and activate your field spell during your opponent's turn, which actually kind of does help. Yeah. Um. Sorry about that. Um. But yeah, Terraforming's effect is add one field spell card from your deck to your hand. Now, of course, good staple card. You essentially use it when running a field spell based on the type of deck that you're running. Deck actually calls for it. It is a good staple. I will admit it. It is a good staple. It's just something that doesn't see that much use unless you're running Sky Strikers or Odd Eyes Abyss Actors or Odd Eyes in general that I know of. Next, of course, this is one of the phase quick effect. You can banish both this card, sub card, one um and one card from your opponent's hand face up until your next standby phase. Once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you can banish that. You can banish one card, return it to the grave. You can target one banished card, return it to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one other card in your graveyard. Shuffle both that card and this card from your graveyard into the deck. So, in a sense, it allows you to shuffle a card back into the. It allows you to reuse it and another card in your graveyard. Also, it kind of stops your opponent from using plays that would potentially screw you over, which is actually essentially good. Now, next one, as I was mentioning earlier in a video that I would, well, as I watched a video on on Team Samurai's channel, I noticed that they were going two users that were using three electromites. I do believe that video was uploaded to the ban list. It's the middle for electromite, sadly proxy. Um, what the effect is, it pendulum monsters. The effect is this card is link summon. You can add one pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up. Once per turn, you can target one other face up card you control, destroy it, then add one face up pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. If this card is in your if a card or cards in your pendulum zone leaves the field, draw one card. You can only use this effect of electromite once per turn. So what I essentially think was going on in that duel between those two pendulum users, and please, Team Samurai, if I did get this wrong, let me know, because I hate making assumptions that are not even true. But I want to know, based on your perspective, especially from I do believe his name was Steve. I think to recheck the video and leave a comment on my own video. Um, I did have a question because I noticed that one of the duelists was using three electromites, one, two, and three, and proceeded to pop a card three times, which you can only do once per turn. And that left me stumped because you can only use that effect once per turn. So he used it to pop and essentially go off of his own effects, and then link again, then use that effect again, and then link again, and then use like it left me completely stumped. I did not know how the hell he did that, which I do believe is essentially impossible for him to do unless there was a card that I'm unaware of that actually got an effect that allows you to use a card effect more than once, which I highly doubt there is. Um, please, clarify that for me, if you would please. I mean, I don't want to be making any false accusations. It's I just want to know. I'm just curious, but yeah, sadly limited. Wish it was semi-limited. Okay, so moving on, we have Elemental Hero Stratos. Now, Stratos was limited. Finally came off the ban list, got limited, um, which I found good for a friend of mine because he loves the Elemental Heroes. Um, and the effect is when this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. So if you can essentially destroy. Sorry, you can destroy spell slash trap cards on the field up to the number of hero monsters you control except this card, which is not really bad if you actually have an entire field of heroes. Um, but if you don't have any heroes, then you might as well stick with the next card, the next effect, which is add one hero monster from your deck to your hand, which is actually pretty good in my opinion. So you actually essentially have a way to search out a hero that normally you wouldn't be able to search out if your deck doesn't usually search. I'm not an expert on heroes, so I'll leave that to my friend to verify or to tell me about later down the line. Next, we have MX Saber Invoker. Now, this card essentially uses two level 3 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one excess material from this card, special summon one level 4 or lower warrior, Earth Warrior. I do believe it's a Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior monster from your deck in defense position, but destroy it during the end phase. Now, the problem I have with that is why was it banned? Like, okay, maybe it might be OT overpowered with Zodiacs back in their prime, which I kind of do understand, but still, to me it seems a little harsh. Oh wait, now I think I get it. It's probably because of the Six Samurai that was using it, because they are based on warrior. They are warrior based decks, so I do kind of see where that comes from. The next one that was banned was Samsara Lotus. Now this one essentially, um, during your end phase, if you control no spells or traps, you can special summon this card from the graveyard in face-up attack position. Of course, it has 0 attack and 0 defense. So imagine that. That is okay. So why would you want to summon it in attack? Probably to get rid of it a lot faster. But you know, normal it, set a couple traps, link Rebo. You just got rid of it, and you won't have to worry about its other effect if you have no way of negating its burn damage, which is if this card this card's controller takes 1000 damage during each of their standby phases. Well, as I mentioned before, if you're not running anything to help with the burn damage, then you essentially have 0 ways of negating the burn unless you actually get rid of it during the turn that you have it. The next banned card was Nightmare Goblin. Now, Nightmare Goblin was its effect. Its material is two monsters with different names. If the Also, if this card is link summoned during your turn, you can discard one card, and if this card is co-linked when this effect was activated, you get to draw one card. So it's technical discard draw, which kind of sounds a little bit like hand destruction. I do believe it was called the one that both players discard 2 cards into two, but in this case, only you discard one card and you draw another one, which I guess um does kind of make relevant sense. Um, where was I? Oh yes, also anyone who watched and everyone. Okay, so as I was saying, um, so in addition to your normal summon slash shed, you can only apply this effect Nightmare Goblin once per turn. The player can target co-linked monsters you control with card effects. So in a sense, anything that's co-linked to this card or any monster that's co-linked while this card is on the field essentially cannot be compulsory, cannot be destroyed by card effects or targeted by card effects that either you activate or your opponent activates, which, yeah, that's a goner situation if you need to get rid of a code to make more room. Following up, okay, so I already did mention Ring Destruction when now off the list permanently. Well, permanently for now, I guess. Off the list. Of semi-limited, limited, and banned is Burial from a Different Dimension. Now, this one, I don't see why people would essentially need this unless you actually have cards go on, that go based on your, that have card effects based on the graveyard, that revolve around graveyard effects. So you can target up to three banished monsters, return them to the graveyard. Okay, I don't see why people wouldn't want to use Pot of Acquisitiveness, which essentially gives you an extra draw by shuffling three monsters from you. And I do run it in my DDDs, and it does help with the synergy. Don't get me wrong, it really does. Next one that came off the ban list, which I do believe is essential for all Destiny Hero players, is Destiny Hero Disc Commander. Now, Destiny Hero Disc Commander, um, its effect is when this card is special summoned from the graveyard, draw two cards. Okay, continuing, so special summon, so Monster Reborn it, draw two cards, get sent back to the graveyard, Soul Charge, draw two cards. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good card effect. Cannot be special summoned from the graveyard the turn it was sent there. Yeah, so Foolish Burial, send it, you try to Monster Reborn it back. Oops, sorry, can't. Illegal move. Oh well, of course. And then it resets it again if this card is special summoned from the graveyard. Draw two cards. Dude, really? How many times do you have to say that in order to do that? And not only that, but this card's effect is a once per duel effect, so why not leave it limited? But wait, Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser's Pendulum effect is a once per duel effect. I take that back. It's fine at 3. I just remembered our Curtain Raiser's effect is kind of the same, except it's pendulum effect, so that's like shit. uh, I'm so stupid. And then, of course, the one that my friend Billy Goodwin said would never, never, ever, ever come off the ban list, which I'm still laughing at this even till today. Even today. Is Apocalypse War Towers. Like, you gotta be kidding me. He said, oh, dude, there is no chance in hell that that card is gonna be coming back. Well, guess who got off the list? Again, like, literally, unlimited. Apocalypse War Towers. Yeah, Bill, I'm looking at you. Oops, sorry, I was like looking at the screen, not the camera. Yeah. If you actually want to see what he does, look up his channel, Writer Kane. I do believe he does, if I remember correctly, he does videos based on um, gaming. So that actually does actually help out in a sense if you love gaming, I guess. Um, oh shit. Oh, okay. So, and then of course, by Apocalypse War Towers effects, by its effect, you actually require 3. You need to tribute 3 monsters in order three Klee monsters in order to bring him out. Also unaffected by spells, traps, and monster effects, whose original level is lower than its in Towers' own level. Also, once per turn, you can actually make your opponent send one monster they control from their hand or field to the graveyard, their choice. Which, okay, I mean, it's not really that bad of an, which is not really that bad of an effect, assuming that. Ooh, hold on, hold on. Okay, so that um, assuming that you can actually get them to get rid of their own cards, monsters, I should say, from their hand or their side of the field. Um, though it doesn't work for, it is affected by link monsters because they are link monsters. They have no level and no rank, so that actually does kind of screw that a bit over. Now, semi-limited is called by the grave. Now, I was extremely questioning this one, like, why the hell is called by the grave semi-limited? Well, why did it get semi-limited? Now I know why. Okay, so you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as, well, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the the activated effects and effects of monsters on the field with the same original name. Yeah, that has actually gotta suck. So you essentially banish anything like from the graveyard and your opponent has the exact same monster on the field negated. And of course it works with getting rid of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon's graveyard effect and any graveyard effect actually. Damn. I just remembered I played Starving Venom Fusion Dragon in my Abyss Actor deck. That's gotta suck for my case. Well, actually, anything can negate it. I mean, as long as it says negate a card effect, negate it. Unless it says on the field, then yeah, you can't negate that. Right. That's making me question something. I've been playing this one card for so long now. I'm sorry, sidetrack, and I really am, but it, I gotta check my favorite monsters effect really quickly. Okay, which, by the way, my favorite monsters effect, shout out to my own mom for getting me this on my birthday. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I've never been able to give up this card, and I never will because it is essentially my favorite card. I mean, that artwork just looks so freaking badass. This is hopefully it, like, yeah, dude, just badass. Yeah, I'm never getting rid of this card. It, never. I mainly because it was a gift for my birthday, and because this is my ace monster. I am seriously getting sidetracked. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Okay, no. So I originally thought it was gonna say something about negating on the field, but it does not negate monsters on the field. So, well, it can negate on the field or in the graveyard. So, okay. So, yeah, that reminded me of. I'm serious. Next video on Friday, I am seriously gonna be talking about decks that can literally overcome another deck and literally annihilate a, a player using the right strategy. Okay, so as I was going on, next at the semi-limited, still on the semi-limited list, we have Cosmo Dark Destroyer. Now, a lot of people, this one was limited, I do believe, or banned, one of the two, but it it got a semi-limit part to it. So if this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one monster on the field. Destroy it. Cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects. If this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, banish it from your graveyard. Special summon one level 7 or lower Cosmo monster from your deck. So essentially, seriously, you could just special summon this card, effect destroy itself, effect banish itself, effect special summon a level 7 or lower Cosmo monster. Yeah, try to get around that. I mean, there's everything that can get around that. I mean, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon can get around its effect like nothing. I mean, it's a quick effect for crying out loud. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just feel so much like a dork right now. Uh, okay, so following up, getting to the limited list for the rest of the way down, we have super polymerization. Now, super polymerization was banned, it got limited, just like Monster Reborn was banned and it got limited. Super polymerization allows you to discard one card, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters you control, using monsters from either side of the field as fusion materials. And, and also, cards and effects also cannot be activated in response to this card's activation. Yeah, Siegfried, I'm looking at you. You can't negate. I can just see Siegfried right now, but my sword can penetrate through everything. No, it can't. It says it right here in the effect. Damn it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm such an idiot. Um, but yeah, so like technically you can, if you plan this card right, and if you know exactly what your opponent's using, and if you actually happen to have one fusion card in your extra deck that actually allows you to use their monsters as fusion material, or a fusion monster in your extra deck that actually goes by their deck. Yeah, Super Poly in your deck and that card in your extra deck, you manage to get Super Poly out, use it at the right time, which is extremely rare. I do believe it's extremely rare. So you time that card right, you can fusion from their side of the field and bring out a monster on your side of the field, which is extremely annoying. Okay. Next, also on the limited list is Hornet is Sky Striker Hornet drones. If you control no monsters in your main monster zones, special summon one Sky Striker Ace token, Warrior Dark, level 1, attack 0 and defense 0 in defense position, which cannot be attributed, and you, which cannot be attributed. And if you have, also, um, if you actually have 3 or more spells in your graveyard when this card's effect resolves, the token, the token's attack and defense become 1500 instead. So when you have this card, make sure you have 3 spells spells in your graveyard to actually make 15. So this way, if your opponent's doing piercing battle damage, you don't take the full attack. Yeah, that's a good way to go. Next, we have a limited card destruction, which, yeah, it was banned, just like Morphing Jar, which I'll get to in a bit. But card destruction, each player discards their entire hand and draws the the same number of cards they discarded. So, if you had everything you needed in that one hand to overthrow your opponent, and your opponent activates card destruction, kiss your ass goodbye. I'm not joking. Literally, kiss your ass goodbye. Like, no joke. Because, like, you just threw, like, he got you to throw out your entire hand. and get you to draw a new hand. I mean, like, sure, if you didn't have what you needed, but during that turn with that hand, you drew a new hand and you got everything you needed, your opponent just screwed himself over. Like, it works both ways in a sense. Next is a hero lives, specifically for a hero deck, which if you control no face-up monsters, pay half your life points. Special summon one level 4 lower elemental hero monster from your deck. I'm sorry. That is just too funny. And in the middle of the video, someone walks by. Well then. Sorry, I am literally such a dork. Anyway, but yeah, so that one will actually come in handy when using Stratos. Um, that is actually essentially a good card, I would think. And of course, the final card in this, in in the limited list, um, which I didn't miss anything so far. Yeah, I didn't miss anything. Okay, so the last one is Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar was essentially banned. Now it is semi-limited. Now get this: the fact that it's a flip effect. It's a flip monster. So you set it, your opponent destroys it. Effect: both players discards their entire hand and draw 5 new cards. So again, another double-edged sword in a sense. So your opponent destroys it. It's either brick or die, like make or die, like literally, yeah, make or break. So in a sense, you discard your entire hand. You're that'd be so funny. It's like you have no hand whatsoever. You destroy that. Your opponent destroys that card, and you don't even have to discard anything. You just draw 5 new cards. It's just like, well, that's something new. Either way, um, but yeah, like so in a sense, if the next 5 cards your opponent draws is exactly what he needs to potentially destroy you, you're a goner. But if you have everything you need to essentially destroy your opponent within that next 5 cards, you just saved your ass. Like, no joke. Okay, guys, well, that's all for today. No, Friday, I will be bringing you a video on decks that can essentially wipe out pendulums. Like, decks that can take on pendulums and literally have no, and pendulums won't have any way of, well, might not have any way of getting rid of it if you don't have the money to afford hand traps. So again, please like this video, subscribe, please hit the subscribe button, um, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of every video I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Um, if you, again, like every other video that I state, if you actually want me to air your deck profile on my channel, or you want to have a duel and have it aired on my channel, we can do that. Just tell me, just add me on Messenger if you have Facebook, um, and let me know when and where we could meet. We'll have to discuss it. And yeah, also, anyone who watches this video and is subscribed to Team Samurai, which I'm also going to do myself, please, let them know about this video and what's it called? Please let them know about this video, and of course, um, if, if I, I'm also gonna try myself, um, if they're willing enough to, please, and if Team Samurai is watching this video, um, please, please answer the question that I mentioned earlier on in the video. Um, Other than that, I'll see you back here on Friday.